Kei aku iti kei aku rai e wakarongo mai ana ki tēnei punua pā o nā te Mātāwai ana ko te māturu tēnei. Ko Alana Broughton taku ingoa o ngā rauru, o ngā tiruanui, he mi I kau atu ana ki a koutou. Ana kei tōku taa, ko Karepa, mānei mi I atu ki a koutou.
Kei ngā mau o te maunga, titohi a Aotearoa koutou katoa o ka rongo mai ana. Tēnā koutou I tēnei kaupapa e whakakao nei I a tatau. Kei te paiako te rākau, nāna rā tātou whakarauhi mai e mihi ana ko tō tātou reo tēnā, hei paiaka matua I tēnei rā ki a tātou. Ana ko au tēnei a Karepa he uri no te maunga tītohea, ngā marae katoa e āmui o ana I te maunga. O tira e waiwai anō hoki no roto I a tū wharetoa. Ko au tēnei, hei mema puari ki te Mātāwai, hei māngai mo Te Tai Hau-ā-uru. Nō reira tuene, tēnā tāua I te kaupapa.
Kia ora rā, tēnā koe e Karepa. Nō reira, I puta I a koe, he mema koe I te puari, you're a member on the board, tēnā kōrero mai mo tērā tua uatanga.
Ai, whiako pai tēnei puari tuene, mahara nei au I tōna tīmatatanga ko te tuakana, ko te rangatira aruakere tēnā, e noho ana he mema tuatai ki te puari. Hei māngai mo taranaki o tira mō Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, ana ko taranaki tainoa ki konei, ki pōnekera. Ko toru tau pēr tāna noho mai, hei māngai ana I tai ki te wā, kia tukuna rā te rākau ki tītai atu. O te takiwa, ana I rere ai ngā karanga ki ngā tōpito katoa o te motu, o te whenua. Nā wai I tau mai te karere ki au, ana ko koe pēr hei māngai mātātou. So, nā te kaupapa au e tohu mai ki te turu. But it's exciting because our reo Māori is something that we've fought for, this year, 50 years, we've been fighting to revive our reo Māori and bring it back to these bountiful grounds of ours here in Aotearoa. And I guess Te Mātāwai's not 50 years old, obviously, but we're in a time now where actually there isn't so much resistance to te reo Māori. And so being on a board that's excited about ensuring our language is returned to its home, and that's essentially the kāinga, the whānau. And that's what I'm most excited about being on in terms of this board. It's not our job, obviously, to go around running Māori language classes all around the motu, although lots of board members do that as well in their time. But actually being able to champion and find a strategic pathway to ensure that our reo Māori isn't just a ceremonial language, isn't just on the paper, but actually, kia hoki ki te kōrero tō taua rangatira tahu pārai, ko te ora o te reo kei te pakinga o te ngutu. And so what we want to see is lips moving with te reo Māori coming out them, and that's when we'll know our reo was really ora.
Kia ora, kia ora. Nō reira, e kōrero ana koe mō tō tātou reo me ngā tini kaupapa whakaraura I te reo Māori. And you mentioned that it's not necessarily our job to go around teaching all of these reo Māori courses. So if that's not quite what we're doing, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, I think every good solution needs first a plan, and so our job is really to think a bit more strategically across the motu. And I know that I'm a māngai for Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, but actually my job is around the whole motu as a board member on Te Mātāwai. We're focused on how do we do this collectively, all right? And I think a lot of colonial kind of ways in recent days have made us sort of work in little isolations and silo and anō nei, ko ngā pāwos katoa ao mai pō mai, but actually in this context, we're only ever going to revitalise our reo if we get together and strategize in a really collaborative way across the motu. So our role is really to go, how are we going to get there? So we've got this big ambitious goal of kia ukai pō anō te reo, but how are we actually going to do that? Karepa alone's not going to be able to do that. Even Ruakere alone's not going to be able to do that by himself. But actually, if we get all these passionate champions from across the motu together, and we actually go, how could we do this? We could do it 100 different ways, but if we did it one way, and we all put our efforts towards those kind of one ways, then that's how we're going to be successful in this, and not in 50 years' time, but in a shorter distance. I mean, I'm thinking, the Treaty of Waitangi well, 182 years kind of thing. So that 200-year barrier is coming up really, really shortly. How do we not get to the 200 years of the Treaty of Waitangi sitting here wishing our kids had te reo Māori, but actually basking in the glory of our kids being able to speak te reo Māori? And I remember only about 8 years ago going and seeing our koro uirangi and saying to him, hey, like every other flash Māori in the country now, I want to give my son a Māori name. Can you give him a Māori name for us? And he goes, yeah, sure. He goes, but on one condition. He goes, you've got to raise him fully in te reo Māori, in his te ao Māori. You've got to make sure that he results in being a raukura for his iwi. Otherwise, mau noahio, tēnei ingoa Māori mōna. So, you know, with that sort of ohaki of his, our whānau is really focused on our home, our kāinga, and being able to restore the language in that. And that's been really, really successful. Now he's, you know, going to kura and all the rest of it. Reo Māori policeman, essentially, at kura is what I've heard him. But, you know, now we've got the opportunity to replicate and duplicate that all around the motu so that we can all bask in that kind of glory. I think, you know, we're in a bit of a situation right now where Māori feel a little bit intimidated because a lot of Pākehā speaking Māori. And I'm not here to disagree with Pākehā speaking Māori, but our excuses of, I've got not enough time, or I can't go to a reo Māori class, or I can't get back to my marae, or I live, you know, 700 kilometres from home kind of thing. All of those excuses are now out the gate. We can learn reo Māori by being on Facebook. We can learn reo Māori by listening to Spotify. We can learn reo Māori in 100 million different kind of ways. If we really want to do it, we can do it. And that's what our strategy is about, is ensuring that there are ways and pathways for everybody around the motu to be able to learn te reo Māori. Ahakoa ki ea, ahakoa tōna pakake, ahakoa kōai, ahakoa te aha. Kei kona te reo Māori, tikina rā te kākoro o mehe koe ia te koronga o te ngākau. Kia, you know, kake ai ngā tāpuipuhitanga o te rangi.
Kia ora, tēnā koe. Kaupapa matua, big picture, but also a lot of issues that our whānau face in their endeavours to reconnect with te ao Māori and te reo Māori. Maybe let's take a couple of steps back, because we can hear now that that a lot of the dreams we've had, there's going to be a lot more support behind these perhaps. But if we're just looking at the board, you're one of our board members, and we've also got te pai motu ake o Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, which also has another ingoa, te wāiti o Te Taiuru. Could you share with us what this wāiti is about, te wāiti o ki Te Taiuru, but also what the difference is between those two ingoa?
I think the beauty about Te Mātāwai is that this isn't just another Pākehā organisation that's been set up with a Māori name to try and revitalise te reo Māori, you know, like government departments and all those kind of things. Actually, this is a whole metaphor and a big analogy for a big whare of flourishing te reo Māori. And so that whole hapai o, you know, hapai muri, those kind of concepts and thinking is what's really coming to life in all of these different aspects of Te Mātāwai. So yeah, I am here as the board member currently for Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, but actually we have a puna of support not only through the various iwi that are in our rohe. So our rohe goes right from the top of Taranaki all the way through down the west coast here into Wellington. And we have a number of pika that sort of collapse a whole lot of iwi together in clusters. So ko Taranaki whānui tēnā, ngā iwi katoa e amu ana I te maunga. And then we come down into Wanganui, where we have another cluster, the kind of rangitāne into Raukawa kind of area, and then down in Te Whanganuiatara as well. So those kind of clusters have little kind of groups that sort of really get in behind all of the kind of strategic level stuff as well. And we have particular members in each of those, what we call peka, who come to the forefront to provide a tāhuhu, essentially, for me as the māngai, as the board member. So up in Taranaki, we've got Tamsin and Tākuta Ruakere representing ngā iwi o te maunga. We've got Ruta in Wanganui at the moment. Narangitāne space, we've got Hoepa, Heitia for the kind of Raukawa area, Muaupoko, Hayley down in Ngāti Toa, and of course yourself here in Te Whanganuiatara. So they all come together as what's called ngā pai motuhake, and all of the rohe in Aotearoa have pai motuhake. And each of the pai motuhake give themselves a unique kind of name that references something about their rohe, and what it is that they want to be sort of identified as. And so, mu atu I au, I putara te whakaaro, kia te painara ko te ingoa ko te waiati o te Tai Hau-ā-uru. Nō reira, ko te waiati tēnei e piri mai, hei koro ai ahuru mōku, o tira mō te reo Māori. E ari te mea mōku te kaupapa engari mō te reo Māori ke. So, yeah, that's the pai motuhake.
Lots of people on this waka to make the kaupapa go ahead.
There's lots of people. The key is about us all paddling in the same direction.
Tika. Nō reira, kei te pirangi au ki te pātai atu I tēnei pātai. He wā ona ēnei tūranga kāre ki ana. Sometimes there are vacancies. What does it look like filling these positions?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is with our reo Māori that ka waiho ma te kaupapa koe e tohu, e karanga mai, e toia mai ki te tepu, ki te kaupapa rānei. And, you know, there are times in the journey, I guess, where different people are suited best to come and help in a particular time, and different people have time available in this space. And then sometimes we have rangatahi who are really passionate in it, and other times we have tohunga, you know, who are ready to give some kaupapa and give some passion to our cause. And so that fluidity, we've been given that as iwi, the mana, to really decide how and when and whatnot. So unlike other boards, I guess, it's not as these people are here for a dedicated number of trienniums and they have to have votes in like a general election or anything like that. Those aren't kind of the structures that we've adopted in here. We've really given the mana back to the iwi and the mena iwi to say, actually, kei a koutou te tikanga, no koutou te reo, nō reira kei a koutou te tikanga, hei āhia, ko ai rānei, he aha hoki te tūkanga me whaia. And, you know, so most of the times in our short recent history, that's sort of been a bit of a consensus approach to it, which you and I both know how tricky those can be in some instances. I remember having a discussion with a few of our iwi and Wanganui about, hey, there's a vacancy here, and you could put somebody else forward to represent ngā iwi katoa o te awa. And actually, they tossed and turned a little bit and said, well, actually, ke ko nā aruta, ke te pai aruta, ko ruta te tātou māngai, and actually, you know, ka nui tēnā. And then there was another time where it came around and actually they decided we actually needed te ira wahine me te ira tāne, ka haere rauatahi. And so therefore we had another person come on board, and things changed again, and that has moved along. We've had a whole lot of the ruakeres, and we've had te puihi, for instance, up in Taranaki. There came a time where it's not that he ran out of things to give, but there was a time where he thought it would be better for some more, what I like to call rangatahi. I'm sure Tamsin would love that. Rangatahi to come on the kind of board and contributed some different things. And so, alas, Tamsin picked up the baton and brought it in. And I think that's the beauty of our kaupapa, is that we're not cemented into a particular way. All of those ways, though, are led and governed by the iwi, and that's the beauty of our kaupapa. No tātou tēnei whare. So it's how we go and how the tikanga goes. But I guess, like our tikanga, it's able to be changed. It's not set in concrete. And, you know, you and I both know as uri of te maunga that everybody looks at us weird when we do this hongi first up in our pohiri. As if, what are you fellas doing back to front? And that's because that's our tikanga that we've picked and we've decided to do. Not necessarily am I saying that that's how we've always done it, but it's just over events and series of things happened. Pariaka, te whiti, te tohu, those kind of things happened, and we decided, actually, tai mai koe I runga I te rongo mau, tai mai koe I runga I te mau ngā rongo, tai mai koe I era o ngā kaupapa matua I te whare o rongo. And those things determine this is how we're going to do it. And so similarly with our whaiti, the environment, the tai ao, of right now is dictating how those things happen and when they happen.
Kia ora, no reira, kai te iwi te mana.
Kei te iwi.
Me whakarongo hoki ki te tai au. No reira, he rawe te whakarongo atu ki tērā whakairitenga. Very unique setup, I think. How does that transfer over to our whānau who are, whether they're applying for funding or whether they're just trying to create a connection with Te Mātāwai? How does that sort of setup transfer over to our whānau? Does it make things easier for them, perhaps?
Well, I see us really as providing and sort of supporting in that environment, eh? So we're not the ones as Te Mātāwai who are leading, champion, doing everything for Te Reo Māori. Actually, if we go back to what we've just talked about, kei te iwi te mana. And so our iwi are the ones championing things, our iwi are the ones running things, our iwi are the ones revitalising the reo and the kāinga and the home and our marae and our hapuri. Our job is really to go, how can we support that? How can we do the kinds of things? So I guess my kind of advice to people in the community is if you're stuck at a crossroads and you don't know how to go, on your next part of that journey, the next phase of that journey, then reaching out to those members on the whāiti is a really good way of going, actually, mea hau I nāne, how hei kai māku I nāne, and what is the possibilities and opportunities that are ahead of me. Those people on the whāiti will be really in the good place to be able to advise and help you on those. Unfortunately, they're more like navigators for the waka. So they're not going to be able to go, yeah, let's pick up those paddles and off we go. They're probably going to go, well, if we read the stars, this is how you get there. And kia kaha koe. Go back to your iwi, go and work with these people. If somebody comes and asks me, oh, hey, we've got this marae in the middle of Purapura and we want to do X, Y, and Z, ka rehe wāhi mōku ki te hari ki roto I a Purapura me te ki atu. Anei, me pēnā, and here is the silver bullet to get your reo Māori back. That's not the job and that's not the place and that's not how we want to work. But actually our place is to go, well, actually, Hayley's the Ngāti Toa rep here, and Hayley's, got all the in and out. Maybe have a kōrero with Hayley, and then again with Hayley, even though she's from Ngāti Toa, her job's not to go, yeah, here's how we're going to do it. But actually tee these people up with the right people and get them going so that they can sort of get through that next junction in the phase, I guess.
Hapai, so our people on the Waiati, one of their roles is to sort of be connectors and supporters and guiders, navigators. Kei te tika tēnā?
Yeah. That's definitely one of the big, the thing with our Māori vessels is it's always two-way, eh? And so they're also providing me with a whole lot of support to go, hey, look, actually there's a big population in Purapura that's growing and wants to do a whole lot of this stuff, or, they might go, actually, there's nothing happening in my rohe, or this iwi's got zilch support, nothing's happening. And so by passing that back to me, then we can also work out how we can strategically link up a couple of things, eh? What we know from language revival is that immersion domains is really important in a big, wider geographical kind of area. There's no point in having a kohanga reo in the middle of Pōneke and no kura until you get to Otaki, right? That just doesn't work that way. Yes, the kohanga will have a benefit because it's a great learning immersion domain right in the middle of Pōneke. It'll be successful, but in a long-term vision, it won't be successful unless we have a kura that whānau can go to right next to it, and then we have a whare wānanga and that kind of eco-cycle, eh? And so the same is to be said with Te Reo Māori, that yeah, we could have this kaupapa over in this little community and it might be really, really successful. But unless we have a whole number of options there in that community, then we're only going to be servicing a small portion of that community. So it's how do we link those things up?
Awesome. So some of the kaupapa that whānau might be thinking of, can you share with us? We've heard that one of the resources are our people in the Waiati. Another resource, of course, would be the investment plan. Can you share a little bit with us about that?
Yeah, the investment plan is huge and it's really, really amazing. Of course, anei te kumara o te kete o rongorongo, no te kete no te tātua o rongorongo, but the investment plan is probably not the best place to start. For somebody who's thinking about how do I go. One of our current focuses on that investment plan right now is about raising the critical awareness. And this might not be said of us tuahine, but lots of people don't like to sing the praises. Lots of people don't like to talk about themselves and show the world what they're doing. But the thing is, in Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, we've got people in all corners of the world doing some amazing things and doing some really awesome things. They're actually inspiring for a whole lot of other people. And when you see these people who are doing, you know, just really little steps, little motions to revitalise our reo, and you go, geez, I could do that too.
What are some of those little steps?
Well, I mean, I think about things like some people who have just decided, actually, I'm going to tape up the bathroom in my house with bright orange tape, and whenever anybody goes into that bathroom, it's going to be reo Māori only. And of course, it's really quiet room, because no one speaks about anything in there. But those kind of little, quirky, innovative things.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
All right.
But people don't think, oh yeah, that's going to teach you to reo Māori, eh? But you get yourself into in a subconscious way, a really positive way of, now I've got to speak to reo Māori in this whare haroi. You know, those kind of things. Or there's some other people who create some resources, and people, you know, some cards, let's play some card games into reo Māori, or, you know, these resources for kids, or other people just do, you know, simple things like put some radio on at home or put some TV on and have them, you know, let's go for a cycle and only speak to reo Māori on that cycle. Obviously, Karepa doesn't cycle, but, you know, those are the examples around the motu. How do we do all of those kind of things? One of the things I heard, I think Mikaere Paki talking about here in Pōneke is, how do we take the reo to where the people are, as opposed to bring the people to where the reo is? And so, you know, if people are going and having breakfast on a Saturday morning in Pōneke, because that's what you do here, eh? Go and get a coffee and sit at the wharewaha and have a nice parakui. How do we take the reo there, so that those people, when they're having a parakui, are actually having parakui in te reo Māori? Yeah, they don't have to do anything different, just turn up for their normal parakui, but now I'm going to be speaking Māori in this parakui. And, you know, those things are really inspirational for the others. Some people come along and they've got zilch. They've got literally zilch reo Māori, but within about 3 or 4 breakfasts, they've already got about 5 or 6 words. And nawa, the next thing they're teaching reo Māori classes, because, you know, they've picked up so many things from other influential people. And these people aren't, you know, Instagram influencers, or, you know, it's not like Cardi B and Michael Jackson are here trying to teach te reo Māori. But actually, these people are just humans that are just doing their mahi, doing their day jobs, but they are still an inspiration to somebody else in the whānau, in the wider hapuri, in the community. Those are the kinds of things that we want to raise awareness of in our rohe. So at the moment, you'll see it on there. It's called the critical awareness, is the kind of aspect in language planning, that's been focused on at the moment. And it's really just showing the world what are the things that are around and what are the things that we're doing. So I know Heitea, on behalf of the whāiti, held Te Mātāwai Te Reo this year in Otaki at Te Wānanga Raukawa, which was about that. It's about showcasing what our people are doing on the ground. All right. Now, these aren't superheroes, like I said before. They are superheroes in their kāinga and in their whānau, but not necessarily does, you know, te ao whānui know these people, but they are doing such amazing things. We need to showcase those things and pull them out so that others can have the same ability, resources, and tools to be able to put in their pocket and learn te reo Māori. So if you've got something like that, those are the kinds of things that we're focusing on a little bit. And the other big focus is about te whakamahere. We actually need to plan these kind of things, right? So, yeah, okay, we could go out, we could have a breakfast, we could speak some te reo Māori, and then we could go back to work again. And if there's no plan there behind the scenes, it'll just be that. It'll be a breakfast with some reo Māori on it. So what we actually want to do is go, actually, how do you plan that? And you know how I said before about my son and us dedicating ourselves to speaking reo Māori at home. We said, yeah, sweet as, we got it, Matsu, we got reo Māori, no problems at all. Anyway, baby arrives at home, and I go, oh, shiz, what's the Māori word for wipes and nappies? And, you know, like things that I've never ever used before. Actually, my wife would say I still don't use them. But, you know, how do we do those kinds of things? How do we get that bigger pool of kupu? How do we expand that corpus? How do we do those kind of things? How do we, start to say, actually, wash your hair properly, son? All of those kind of things which you might not have known before. So what's really important in that context, which we only learnt after the fact, was we actually needed to plan it. Actually, how are you going to do that? How are we going to physically find some friends, some homie that can help us, as mums and dads as well, that are on the same journey, that we could go, hey, tried to wash my son and use a few words tonight, didn't really have the terminology. What are you using, So how do we do that? How do we actually deliberately ensure that when I get home, in my head, I'm going, no, we are going to speak Māori now. I've just spent all day at work speaking English, but I'm going to speak Māori now. Those kind of things, you got to plan them out. You actually got to have a plan in place. And so anyone who's got good ideas of supporting other people to create plans, those are probably the two big focuses that we want to really push this year. Now, if you know that it fits those kind of two bills, then the people on the whāiti can help you align it to the investment plan. That's probably the easier way than you try and open the investment plan and work out exactly where it is and try and fit your thing inside a box that works for us. Actually, if it's on those kind of waka, then it's probably going to be in the right pool for what we're doing. The kind of difference that we have with other kaitono around the motu is that we're focused on Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, so it's got to be linked somehow into our rohe. So if you want to hold a kaupapa in Christchurch, sorry, not our kaupapa. Okay, your whānau might be from Taranaki, and that's really, really cool. Come back to Taranaki and hold some of those because we need those language domains in our rohe going. That's where our focus is right now. If you're in Ōtautahi, kei te iwi o Ōtautahi te mana, ne? And so you need to connect in with them and go through their channels and whatever their processes are and so on around the motu.
Ka pai. All right, so say our whānau have an awesome kaupapa that they would love to connect up with Te Mātāwai. How do they go about that? What does the application process look like? What does that look like? I know that that the application has to align with the investment plan, but I did hear from you, that might be more conversation we can have with someone from the Waiiti. But what does that look like, the application process?
Yeah, so I think if people are interested and they've never ever undertaken a tono before, the biggest thing I would recommend they do is go and have a kōrero to one of those people we named before. They're the people who know this place inside out. They know how things work and they can give them, or whakapā mai ki te tari, they've got a whole lot of expertise as well around how to do these things. But having a kōrero up front before you even get excited about what your tono is probably the best thing to make sure that you're successful, right? We don't want you to go into a whole lot of work and then come back and go, it didn't quite fit the bill because we didn't have a kōrero or somebody. And really those kōrero need to be had now because the timeline for tono having an application, a kaitono putting in a tono, is fast approaching. So about December, we need people to start registering. So people who have never applied before need to first register. And there's a bit of a process online to get through that, but that's what you've got to do before Christmas. So any kaitono out there, make sure that the one thing you do before you go and buy all your Christmas presents this year is register on Te Mātāwai. Even if you're not sure about your application, even if you haven't really sorted out your kaupapa, you haven't really got everything down on a piece of paper, that's all right, register. Because if you don't register, then you're not in. It's sort of like buying a lotto ticket. If you don't buy a lotto ticket, then you're not going to win at all right? So register, that's December. The whole of December is for that. And then in January is the time where we have to put your tono in. Now, for the tono, you do have to answer a few kind of questions and you have to provide a whole lot of information and you have to link it to that. But if you've had a conversation with somebody on the whāiti, then those sort of connections should be really, really easy. We're looking for things like, is it tuku ihotanga? So is it intergenerational transmission? Does it involve mum and son and maybe mokopuna? Or does it involve nan, auntie and mokopuna? Those kind of things. If it involves that intergenerational transmission, then spot on, perfect. Line it up into that one. Is it about an immersion domain? Are we making sure actually he waihiru maki reo tēnei? Kei te parakuhi tātou, engari he wāhi rumaki mo te reo Māori tēnei, I roto tonu I te hāpuri. If it's those things, great, there's another connection onto that, right? Now, you don't have to connect to every single part of the investment plan, but the more you connect it to, the stronger your application is, right? And the other thing we're looking for in there is around what we call the po of the whare. And at the moment, there's three kind of components of the po. And what the po are doing is just indicating the level of reo Māori in those kind of spaces. So are we focusing on pretty much ngai kore reo, or are we focusing on ngai matatau reo? And why we want to know those kind of things is because at the moment, we've got a lot of focus on ngai kore reo, which is really cool because we need to whakapoapoa I te hunga ki roto I te ware. But what we also need to do while we do that is focus on those at the other end of the spectrum and go, actually, what are we doing to support them to advance further into the ware? What are we doing for them to ensure that they become more proficient? Because that's, again, supporting that tuku ihotanga, the intergenerational. Once we get those matatau people even more matatau, then they will, like all good flowers, pollinate elsewhere.
E maa ngā kaupapa, ngā kaupapa whakaraura I te reo Māori. What are some of the kaupapa that might not quite fit the bill?
Yeah, and that's a difficult thing, tuahine, is we've got so many passionate people doing a whole lot of things for te reo Māori, and everything does contribute towards te reo Māori. It's not that anything isn't really right for the kaupapa at the right time. But right now, we only have a very small puna of pūtea that we can give out. That's not really our core job. It's not necessarily investing. We're not a ATM kind of thing, But we do have some pūtea to give out and support. But we have to be really stringent on what it is that we are doing. So, for instance, kaupapa that are ā-motu at the moment, that's out of our kind of scope. So if you wanted to hold a big, humongous, Māori TV filmed out to the world kind of showcase all these world experts or Aotearoa experts, that's kind of outside of our scope. Our scope's really focused on our rohe and the connections. If you wanted to hold a big thing in the community even, but it had no connections to the rohe that we live in and to the iwi that hold the mano of the reo here in Te Tai Hau-ā-uru, again, those kind of things are outside our scope. We also have outside of our scope a whole lot of the crown, what we call crown kind of kaupapa. We leave that for mahi karauna and we focus on Māori. So, for instance, if we're talking about things inside libraries, which are through council kind of controlled organisations, or if they're things inside physical kura, schools or kindergartens or ECEs, those kind of things who want to apply, they get all their funding and their kaupapa through Te Mahi Karauna. And so our focus is not on there, but actually in the homes, in the community, those things that are easier for us to focus on right now with the pūtea we have. Who knows in the future, we might get bigger and bigger and have a lot more and things might change. But for right now, that's where our focus is for Te Tai Hau-ā-uru. So I'm really encouraging people that if you've got a kaupapa that's in your home, that's in your community, it's going to provide a bit of a language domain for somebody. It's going to have that kind of intergenerational transmission. If it's going to support people to plan out how it is that they take this journey of te reo Māori, then those are the things that we really want to focus on for at least the next couple of years in Te Tai Hau-uru.
Arawe. You have shared a few examples since we've been having our kōrero. Hoi anō, can you share just a couple of examples of great tono that have come through?
A lot of the tono in the initial couple of years have been focused on holding wānanga, and wānanga are really great. I know both of us have been involved in wānanga over the years, where we bring out wānau together, we bring them onto the marae, we teach them a whole lot of whakapapa, we teach them a lot of reo, no te kāinga, no te iwi tonu, no te hapu, and that's really productive and really, really successful. So it's not that we don't want to do it, but that's just where most of them are at the moment, and if we look back over the last few years. So what we're trying to do now is actually branch off into a couple of other areas, into the other things, back to that whakaaro of let's take the reo to where the people are. So our emphasis now is going, actually, how could we get a rugby speaking team to only be reo Māori and put a tono in? So that those kids can have mum and dad refereeing in Te Reo Māori, and Nan and Koro coming to the sideline and speaking Te Reo Māori to them, and all the kids running around speaking Reo Māori on that rugby field, or, you know, something like that, which gets the tuku ihotanga. You got to have a mahere to get that going, a good plan to get that going. But you've also got a language domain that's out in the community, because I don't know any sports fields that are only Reo Māori at the moment. But, you know, those kind of things as we were trying to branch off to a bit of innovation. So my tono, I guess, to the iwi is think differently this year. Think about what else you could do. That's not saying your wānanga can't go through this year, because your wānanga is really good, right? They're working. But I think of Wellington, right? Last census, we had about 2% of the population who could speak Māori.
Wow.
2% of the population.
At
but
what level?
Well, confidently was what they were saying, eh? So, kei āhue tēnā, pēhea te confident ki āhue. But in aligned with that, we had 46% of Wellington who said, actually, I'm really passionate, really encouraged, and I really want to see more reo Māori here. So 46% of, that's nearly half, and this is back in 2018, eh? But back in 2018, half of people wanted to see it somewhere in this community. So I guess the challenge is, how do we get that going? You know, don't be scared to hold that rugby team anymore. Don't be scared to set up a poker night and invite Karepa along to it. You know, don't be scared to do those kind of different things in the community that will obviously contribute towards Te Reo Māori revitalisation in the homes and in the whānau. That's the kind of thing that we want to really get going. That will add to all of the wonderful things going. So, as I said, lots of wānanga happening, lots of akomanga, lots of those kind of hapu, iwi, marae things. We know there's some whānau in Nōtaki taking people out on the waka and teaching them about that, all in Te Reo Māori. I know you had a kōrero with our wanaunga in Rangitane doing some wonderful things with toi. We know we've got people up in Taranaki who have done some things with moko and all those kind of things. You know, there's so the tohora was another example actually up there. There's so many awesome examples of those kind of things, and they're around. If you go and have a look in your communities, you'll see those things. Have a kōrero to the people in the whāiti. But I don't want to push people into just doing those things that people are doing already. There is room to scope. There is room to do something different and have a think about, actually, how could we do this? No one speaks like Shakespeare anymore, so, you know, let's not just follow in the footsteps of others. Use it as a guide and use it as a template, but let's find some new ways, some innovative ways that we can take the reo to our place and really restore it. What we want to do is really imbue it into the hearts of our whānau.
Choice. Nau mai ngā whakaaro auwaa, nau mai ngā prene auwaa.
Ngā prene auwaa.
Nō reira, e Karepa, he rawe te whakarongo ki a koe homai ana i enei whakaaro, because I think sometimes it does take a few thoughts to get the creative thinking going. Hoi anō, hei whakakapi i te wā ki a tāua i tēnei wā, tēnā he kōrero anō wau mō te hunga e whakarongo mai ana.
Yeah, not really. I'm just hei whakakapi ake pia, ko te kupu ake ki te iwi kia tauti mai rā ki runga anō i te waka. Ako tēnei te wā e noho mū ana te iwi i ngā kokona o e rā whare, huri no i te rohe. Kua tai mai te wā kia puta ai tātou ki te ao mārama, hei raukura mo ngā iwi katoa te uru. Nō reira ko tō tātou o te Mātāwai, ko tō tātou mo te reo Māori. He whakaaki aki i te iwi i ngā whānau, kia tikina rā tēnei reo, kia titia rā ki te ngākau, kia horapa haere ki runga anō i ngā tēpū o tēnā kāinga, hei hākiri mā ngā tamariki, ngā tātara kehi, ngā mokapuna huri noa. O tērā, kia tukuna rā ki wāinga tonu i te hāpori, ne? And, you know, we saw that here in Pōneke with te huingahure, reo Māori, recently, where we had things like Tameti in the middle of the capital city and his big display of what reo Māori looked like, felt like, and was for him. And then what that created was all these communities of Māori people who came into the middle of the city and started just talking Māori and just having kōrero in the middle of Māori, and actually seeing the community walk past going, whoa, what's this reo? Oh, whoa, wow, what's that? And really, in a positive way, inquisitive about it. And that's what I think we're really trying to push people into doing. So, e te iwi, nau mai piki mai, ina koe a te koronga o te ngākau kia kakeara ngā tāpuhi-puhitanga o te rangi. Kia ronga nā tō rātou ngā tūpuna reo i ngā ngutu katoa. O tātou e hikoi ana i te mato o te whenua. Nō re te tēnā koutou, tātou tuine e mihi ana.
Ai te tingane, Karepa, tēnā koe i tō whanga mai ngā kōrero i ngā whakaro i ngā kaupapa a te whaiti nei. He mi ikawati ki a koe o te anō rai e te iwi e whakarongo mai ana ki te punua pā o nei. Tēnei te mi ikawati, tēnā koutou katoa. Te Mātāwai,